Conlangs in fiction, a study of Dothraki and Gallifreyan. The Merriam-Webster definition of a conlang, or constructed language, is an invented language intended for human communication that has planned and cohesive phonological, grammatical, and syntactical systems. A few examples of conlangs are as follows: Elvish from Lord of the Rings, Klingon and Vulcan from Star Trek, Na'vi from Avatar, and Dothraki from Game of Thrones, as well as the circular Gallifreyan writing system inspired by Doctor Who. On the right are some written examples of Dothraki and Gallifreyan. First, we will examine Dothraki. Dothraki is the language spoken by the brutish race of warriors of the same name from George R.R. Martin's fantasy novel series, A Song of Ice and Fire. Linguist and conlanger David J. Peterson invented a full language based on the Dothraki culture and short list of words Martin created in his novels. Peterson also took inspiration from Russian, Turkish, Estonian, Inuktitut, and Swahili. The alphabet consists of spiky, crude-looking letters, as evidenced here. The phonetics and phonology of this language are somewhat unusual. There are no U, P, or B sounds, and only 4 vowels. The NG sound is a commonly used consonant. The pronunciation of ka-li-si was changed from ka-le-si. Here on the right are the Dothraki consonant and vowel charts. According to David J. Peterson, these are the most characteristic sounds of Dothraki: the doubled vowels, voiceless velar fricative X, geminate consonants, trilled R, uvular Q, and the forceful sounding H. The following is a recording of a scene from the television show. Daenerys' servant, who is a native Dothraki speaker, teaches her how to say the word for pride.
At Jaka, At Jahaka, At Jahaka, At Jahaka, At Jahaka. Yes, Khaleesi.
If you are interested in learning how to speak like Khal Drogo and the rest of his horde, here are some resources to get you started: the unofficial Dothraki webpage, Living Language Dothraki, and the Dothraki Dictionary app. Next, we'll talk about the conlang known as Gallifreyan. This is the language used by the race of beings called Time Lords from the BBC television series Doctor Who. Gallifreyan is only a written language with a few different forms, and the alphabet and circular writing system were created by linguist and conlanger named Lauren Sherman. Though there is no spoken version of Gallifreyan, there are a few different varieties of the written system. Old High, Modern, cut out circles, this is the one created by Sherman, and circular. Fun fact, when these written forms are seen in the TV show, they don't actually have any meaning. The classic series ran from 1963 to 1989, and then New Who was rebooted in 2005. Sherman didn't create the cutout circular Gallifreyan writing system until 2011. Sherman's Gallifreyan is the most popular and most widely known, and there are plenty of resources you can use to learn how to write in this language. It's actually fairly simple and easy to learn. Here on the left is the chart explaining the consonants and vowels. The basic steps to write a sentence are as follows. The letters are made of circles, dots, and lines. Words and sentences are structured the same, counterclockwise, starting at the bottom. To write a word, draw a circle, then look at the chart to determine the letters of your word and what shapes you need to draw within that circle. And then connect the words using indents. Here is the link to a video that goes more into detail. This translates to bow ties are cool. Here are some helpful resources if you are interested in learning more about this fascinating conlang. There are many similarities and differences between these two conlangs. Similarities include that Dothraki and Gallifreyan are both constructed languages invented for the purpose of being used in a television show that takes place in a sci-fi or fantasy universe. They are both avidly studied and spoken by fans, and neither one is anyone's native language. But conlangs are different from pidgins, which are languages invented for a different purpose. Differences include that Dothraki has both written and spoken forms, while Gallifreyan is only a written language. Dothraki is a much more complex and developed conlang, whereas one could easily learn to write in Gallifreyan within a few hours. The Dothraki language, as well as the culture and people, are known for being very brutish and harsh sounding. Gallifreyan looks very clean and uniform with its circles and lines, and the Time Lord people think of themselves as very dignified and high class. To summarize, Dothraki and Gallifreyan, though maybe not considered real languages by some, have characteristics of real languages like alphabets, grammar rules, and spoken forms. These are just two impressive examples of conlangs that have been created for popular fiction like books, TV shows, and movies. That's all for now. Until next time. These are my sources. Sources continued.